We're going to look at the numbers or anything. I went live a minute ago and it got me a little discouraged, and I feel like I got a little mini spirit attack. So, because of what I'm about to be talking about. So, let's just get right into it. So, just a quick, brief thing. I'm at work, you know what I'm saying? So I'm going to be talking low, and this is the easiest way for me to record just for where my life is right now. So people might pop in and pop out, and I'm going to have to stop, okay? Good morning. I hope you stick around. Um, so I got something really great to talk about. So first, let me get into because I think I want to make this a series. And so it's going to be about sex and soul ties, and it's been heavy on my heart, but I just got the courage to talk about it today. So, see, so that's the intro. This won't be long at all. Uh, Thank you, T. I was feeling a little insecure because I've gained weight over the last year. So thank you for that boost of confidence. Um, so what made me go, okay, I think I should talk about this is one, I was watching a video by Alexis Tyler, and she was talking about vagina power. And vagina power is basically taking your power back and understanding um, your divine feminine energy and how to use it appropriately. You know what I'm saying? And not operating on a lower level. Another thing that made me want to talk about this was I've been re-listening to the audio book by, um, let me put my notes here, my talking points here while I do my job. I've been listening to the audio book by Sister Soldier called Midnight Against the Love Story. And just listening to how amazing he was and how well thought out the character development was for this book and this story. So bringing it back to the topic, how he was so considerate of, or how I should say, Sister Soldier wrote the character to be so considerate of something so deep, such as sex. And because he's from another country and under a different religion, his views on sexual engagement was very different. And he viewed how American people operated. He was dissing us completely, and I couldn't appreciate it. And so that's what propelled this conversation in my own mind that I've been having with myself. So part three of why I want to talk about this is that what created that dialogue in my head is the people that he was talking about. Like, for example, there's this character Bangs, and he was really attracted to her, but because of his standards, um, he didn't find her as a woman that he would want to marry. And um, and because of his religious beliefs, right? And although he was fully attracted to her and really wanted to be like, her body was banging, he loved her personality. And I feel like if he wasn't Muslim, they probably would have been together, like boyfriend and girlfriend. But I kind of have to take up for Banks, because she's an American girl. And I knew it was coming, that she was a young girl who has either been molested or had an inappropriate sexual experience. And later on in the chapter, we find out that she was inappropriately engaged with her uncle, and he got her pregnant, and she was only 15 when he got her pregnant. This grown man got her pregnant, and here it is, this this curse of carrying familial secrets like that. And that is what made me go, oh, we got to talk about this. Oh, this needs to be a series. This is something that I could come back with because it's heartfelt. It's a teaching moment. It's a learning moment. It's a growing moment that we could share. And that's what I'm all about. And with me, dealing with that in real time on the second year of my therapy, I think that this would be the perfect way to operate in this space. And the reason why I'm mentioning that book also is the last time I read that book, I was entering into my 30s, and now I'm entering into my 40s, right? So I was like 28, turning 29, going 30 now. Here I am, 38, 39. So I have a different perspective on things. At that time, I was very much involved in a situationship, and now I have been celibate for the second time. For next month will be a year, right? The first time was a year and a half. Um, so that is the why. So this whole 6 minute intro right here is where I'm going to end the intro. That is the why. That so getting into the topic, what I believe, I really feel like I'm going to switch them. First, I was going to say teaching people about sex spiritually, but and the second part, molestation and sexual demons, and then the solution. I'm going to flip that. I'm going to put molestation, sexual demons, and then teaching people about sex because the latter seems to happen first. And I think that that's why a lot of people operate the way they do. So let's get into that. And I'm going to keep it at 5 minutes and then go into the second part. So, molestation and sexual demons. And this is something that I learned about from myself. I learned about this my going through my own life experience, and I'm gonna be very vulnerable in this moment. Um, so and I really don't care how anybody feels. So let's just stop making excuses, man, and get to the point. So, um, my older brother recently passed, um, and he is amongst other grown ass men, source of um, where the um, they imparted uh, they imparted the demons that they were carrying on me. I'll just say it that way, right? They imparted the demons that they were carrying on me because we should know, and if you don't know, when you are intimate with someone and you engage in sexual intercourse, you're imparting your spirit and everything you carry on. I know this for sure. I would dare to say that being a woman and we're receiving, our bodies are receiving someone, or we engulf that person, right? And the man is imparting themselves onto you. I would even dare to say that someone imposing themselves onto you, their demons onto you, is even more impactful. Okay? And I think that molestation and sexual demons, I think that is the reason why it's so damaging. And it's extra damaging because, and don't let it be a family member, right? So, you know, what's my point? Why am I saying that? The reason I'm saying that is because when you're a younger person, male or female, and someone is a grown person who done been around the block, and they're imposing all of their shit on to you as a young child. Your young spirit and your young energy doesn't know how to carry all that weight. And I feel like, and just experiencing it myself, it's such a heavy lift for a child spiritually to digest it. And once they become, as they're getting older, and don't let them be, you know, in elementary school age, primary school age, where they just recently learned they haven't even gotten to multiplication yet. Okay, they just learned that 1 plus 1 is 2 and how to write their letters correctly. And in my case, that's what happened to me. Like 5 and 7, I was already running into these types of issues onto me. So here I am, and this is before I'm even 10. This is before I even have a period. So, you know, it's such a big thing to carry. And then as you're coming into puberty, you've already been exposed to sex inappropriately. So your mindset is skewed, and it's skewed, and it's just all screwed up, for the lack of a better way of explaining it. So when bringing it back to the book I was listening to, you know, I felt sad for Banks, and I put into the comments of an audiobook that I really wish Midnight would have saved her. But he was only 14 at the time, uh, to understand someone going through something like that. I think he judged her too harshly and too quickly for something that she could not control. And I really wished, and I wasn't for sure what Sister Soldier was trying to accomplish with that, but I really had wished that in the writing of that, that she kind of had her back a little bit more in a literary way, or maybe with the lack of Midnight understanding, um, it makes the reader think about that. Like, I wonder why he doesn't understand that. He seems to understand so many things, and really look down upon that. And then I'm not even gonna hold you. I would keep it real. I just didn't really girlfriend or wife, so we'll just say that out loud. So going back to that, going back to molestation and sexual demons, if a young man or a young woman has been introduced to sex inappropriately, their mindset is already miscued and skewed on how it is supposed to be experienced. It's supposed to be, you know, under the right circumstances. And I don't even want to even put it under the trope of religion, but I do understand why it's supposed to be man and wife. And it it and so just going into adulthood, you know, I'll just take it to, because I'm already 14 minutes in, I'll take it to the next part, teaching people about sex spiritually. You know, unfortunately, because of my life experience, sex was already introduced to me inappropriately. But I really do wish, because I started to act out, and I don't want to say act out. I became curious because um, I started to develop kind of early, and because of the different men and grown men, you know, who were looking at me and trying to get at me and my friends. And I'm talking about like full grown ass men that would be trying to holler at me, really be trying to holler at us. I just kind of got really curious. And then, you know, there's certain behaviors that happen when you have uh, been molested. You know what I'm saying? You start to experiment earlier than what it should be. And it brings on desires that shouldn't be there at that age. And it's just, but this young person, is dealing with desires that have been imparted onto them, not something of their own actual desires. And that's what I really believe. And so, going back into it, I really feel like our generation, now that you were more spiritual and more in tune and more empathetic, I really feel like we need to uh, teach the younger women differently. And this is my idea, and this is what I'll be introducing, and I'm gonna make sure it's well thought out. But I'm gonna take some cues from Alexis Tyler and remix it with my own life experience in a different way, because um, I don't think we're 90% of us are taught that sex is, either sex is evil, sex is bad, or you're just told very vaguely, you need to wait until you're married. You shouldn't be worried about no little boy, or either they're being hella disrespectful to you, or maybe even the woman in your life is jealous of you, calling you fast and shit, making you feel uncomfortable with your womanhood, jealous of your young womanhood, which is very real things, um, and making you feel awkward about your desires. You know, um, I think we need to tell them the truth and tell them why they should wait. So, if I had a daughter, or let me talk to my nieces, right? This is what I would say to my nieces. I would say commodity. And if your market value is up. You're above these bitches. I would literally say this to my niece, and I would say this to I've said this to my little sisters, and I would say this to my daughter, because I'm coming at them real. One, you're black. Two, you're dark skinned. And that's just a fact of fucking life. And I know you experienced it in school. The other thing is, you need to ensure that you're putting yourself in situations where you're always fucking winning. And that's that. And that's just a fact of fucking life. The other thing that I have said, and I will say again, your virginity um, is valuable. And it is what the fuck it is. Hate it or love it. It is what it is. It puts you above the rest of these bitches. Now, on a personal level, what I would say, and I have said to my younger sisters, and I'm saying to my nieces right now, is you don't need some raggedy nigga who's fucking all these bitches like a fucking wild, loose dog, and then coming pumping and jumping up and down on you and don't give a fuck about you and leave you in the dust. And now he's imparted his shit that he's dealing with. First of all, you don't know nothing about this nigga. He could have been getting touched by his uncle, his cousin, his brother. And now you sit up there and you done took all that shit in you. Now it's all on you. Now it's all on you. You know what I'm saying? And now you're all lethargic and tired and your attitude all fucked up. You know what I'm saying? Stop letting these people in you. They leave an impression on your spirit. They leave an impression on your spirit. And you so when he think that you are the motherfucking illest, if you ain't no nigga ever touched, ever got, like, think of how rare of a jewel and how beautiful that is. You know what I'm saying? Ain't no nigga touched you. Ain't not Nobody's dusty, crusty, ashy, raggedy son put his little dirty ass balls near you. You know what I'm saying? Think about that. How special you are. You know what I'm saying? Like, think about it. You don't want some raggedy nigga just pumping up and down on you, not knowing what the fuck he doing, because he's not gonna be thinking about you. He's thinking about himself. And the reality of it is you are it makes you more valuable, period. You know what I'm saying? And you're I'll go into that in the series and get into the nooks and crannies of why I really think of that. And maybe with more depth, it would make more sense. But I could affect them in the long run with them acting out sexually and trying to get their power back. We didn't go into a lot of details, but we just touched the surface of that, right? And then the second part of um, teaching someone about sex and spirituality and why it's important to wait. We didn't go into a lot of depth. We touched right on the surface, right where I want to be. We didn't really go too deep, you know, but I think we're at a good place because it's just an introduction. Because dealing with that is such a dealing with sexual molestation into your adulthood leaves such an imprint on your life that it takes some people years and decades to get through and over that. And it affects relationships, and especially sexual relationships. And a lot of the times, especially women, um, we tend to act out in an effort to regain what has been taken from us. And I think that needs to be revisited and discussed in a clear way. And I think that it needs how we talk to our friends, how we talk about it amongst each other, and I talking about something that I ain't done myself. You know, I've been celibate. I've been in situationships. I've been in relationships. And now I'm currently celibate. I've been celibate for long stints of time and then went back out and had sex again. And I could tell you, um, when you're not dealing with someone who actually loves you, cares about you, and things like that, it is, uh, I can't think of the correct word, and I'm going to make notes how to describe the feeling. It's a very empty feeling. You feel like a shell of yourself. Because when I was conscientious of it, and I was making when I became consciousness, when I came into consciousness about how my soul and my spirit is connected to that sexual experience, when I realized that the ropes around me in my soul tie, that's when I knew, oh, I got a problem. I have a serious problem. This needs to be rectified. You don't know you're in a soul tie situation. Difficult to break that soul tie. Yeah, yeah, and it was very difficult to break it, and I'm still struggling, and I'm not gonna lie, because again, they're imprinting themselves on to you. Um, so the solution, we can't leave without a solution. Um, so I'm gonna call this the intro to the series, and then the next one will be a part one, part two. But let's get into the solution because we can't never leave here without the solution. The solution for me and what worked for me is one prayer. Okay? And not praying for, because sometimes, man, I'm telling you, when I was trying to leave this nigga alone, I'll be like praying for a miracle. I'll make the arrangements to smash this fool, and I'll be laying in my bed. I got off work, and I'll be laying in the bed like, please God, make a miracle happen. Please make a miracle happen. Please let him tell me one of his kids call. Like, please do a divine intervention. You know what I'm saying? Like, please keep him away from me. Because if he hits me up, I'm gonna fuck this nigga, like, period. You know? And I think God allowed me to bump my head so many times, maybe so I could be a blessing and a lesson for somebody else. Because it's never for you. The shit that you be going through, it's never really for you. It's for other people to learn through your experiences. And when I could not leave this nigga alone, and you know, you have to ask someone who's more spiritually aligned and who's living righteously, who cares about you and wants to see you win. And for me, that was my aunt. And we weren't directly talking about that, but she was equipped spiritually enough to give me tools that I needed to get me where I needed to go, and taught me how to pray and, you know, keep yourself busy. Start fully and truly working on yourself and making sure you have a full and a fulfilling life. When you start pouring into yourself, and as y'all know, I've been gone for a minute because I've been pouring into myself. Um, you know, I've been taking my therapy very seriously. Um, Taking time to just pay attention to how I'm really feeling on the inside. I've started pouring into my friendships and learning how to be a better friend because I wasn't good at that. When my best friend got killed, I didn't really know how to be a friend in a healthy way, you know, on a real level. So I started pouring into that. At the time, I was meeting with my auntie every Wednesday, reading a book called with a therapist. So I had to really to figure out what my insurance covers because that's work too. And nobody talks about that. Finding a good therapist with your insurance and what it covers is hard fucking work. And it's not easy. So I just want to put that out there that you really have to take the time out to research that and ask questions like this. Um, like, what exactly does it cover? Does it cover this specifically? Talk therapy or psychiatric help? Will it cover the medicines? If I prescribe medicines, is there a copay? Do I have to pay for a copay? Then you got to think to yourself, okay, will I have enough if my therapist recommends me that, oh my gosh, I got this going on, and you discover things that you need to work on. Oh man, am I gonna have enough copay for each visit? Because times are hard. So you may have 20, 25, $30 copay for each visit. So you wanna go, okay, how can I plan this out? Okay, I get paid every week. I'm gonna put this $60 to the side, and that'll cover 2 sessions. So at least I know I'm good this month, and really map it out. Like, you really gotta think about it. And another part, if you got a good job, and I pray that you got something that you're good, where God has blessed me to be in a good place, right? Oh my God, it done started. Okay, counseling with the Obamacare. That's how I started going to counseling under the Obamacare. I had Humanitarian Source. I have another one called, you just look up what's under what city, right? But now I got the ill job, right? So now I got the FSA. And so what happens with the FSA is they basically loan you out that money. So you say, like, I want to get, like, I don't know, this year, like, I usually get like, $800. It's just me, right? So this year, I know I got to pay a copay, right? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take out $1,500. So I know I'll be covered for that copay. I know I need to go every week because I'm doing trauma work, right? And so I know I'm going to go once a week. So that I'm needed for 52 weeks. And I forgot what that math is, don't judge me. But whatever 52 weeks times 20 is, I know I'll be covered for the year, right? And then that FSA will cover that cost. And then they're going to take, once you put in that 1,500, they'll multiply it and divide it by how much they going to take out your check. And if that works for you, you know what I'm saying, then you're good. You do what you can afford. And if I go through and I do the math and I'm like, ooh, 1,500 is too high, let's take it down to the normal $700 to $800. Will it cover me? Okay, I'll be good for that. And then if I get sick, I'll have enough to cover my prescriptions and whatever else medical needs that I need. I'll be good. Set your limit and do it like that. But you got to put in that work if you really want to. And then therapy, mentally, physically. So physically, as far as being solution oriented, what you want to do is try to do something physical, because it does affect you physically. So going for a little walk, whatever it is that you want to do, dance around your room. Those are my 2 things that I like to do, you know. Um, and then, and whatever is good for you, right? Uh, Making sure your finances in order, which we already kind of discussed that. And then nutritionally, you want to make sure. Now, what I found over these years, and then like, oh, and this is good, and we'll wrap it up here, because this is real talking healthy food after all. Period. So let me show you my juice. So I've been juicing again, and let me take a drink. Just so you want to know, if you want to know, this is honeydew, pineapple, pomegranate, and beets, and oranges, and lemon. Um, what I found during times when I was doing trauma work, and you could tell by my weight gain, I was eating bad, but at the time when I was really grief stricken, to be true, when I was doing trauma work and I was eating unhealthy, I felt worse. The second round of trauma work, when I was having 3 and 4 hour sessions at a time. And I thank the Lord that I was able to afford that, because I got through a lot of things. You know what I'm saying? But um, when I would do those really heavy sessions, and I would be pouring out my heart, and I would be doing the assignments that my therapist recommended, when I ate healthy, because she always would say, you need to drink a lot of water. You need to make sure you get a good night's rest, because I'm telling you, after you do this, you want to do this trauma work, you are going to have to make sure you are rested. You are going to have to make sure you are hydrated. You are going to have to make sure you are taking care of yourself. When I didn't listen, I'm telling you, I felt like I was sick. My voice gone because I was at my friend's birthday party. And we was, girl, all right. So, but when I did it and I was eating healthy and I was being kind to myself and I was going to bed and I was taking my supplements, like I would wait. I was, taking my time, pausing for the cause, thanking Big Guns for another day, starting my day. Hey, Taco. Hey, Kitty. Get ready. I even find that doing that now, you know, taking my supplements, taking time for myself, you know, making sure I have a nutritious breakfast, make sure I have a nutritious lunch, healthy choices, a healthy dinner, a big salad, a nice healthy juice, take my supplements before bed, going to bed at a reasonable hour. I was more high functioning. You know what I'm saying? My hormones was in balance. I was doing things that to care for myself. I found that especially after 3 hour sessions, things were a lot smoother for me. And so that has to be a part of um, your routine, and you have to dig deep. Now, I know for sure when you're dealing with a lot of things on your plate and you're trying to work through old trauma and shit like that, it can be very difficult to be organized. But I would just, you know, I'm of the belief that you could talk to God anytime. God should just be in your. For some reason, I just really feel like God can hear me. And I feel like I don't have to do a whole lot of extra shit. I just don't feel like that. Like sometimes I do fall back and really be like, yo, can you protect my family? It's mostly those kind of prayers. But, you know, I just feel like God can hear me and he see me. I finally feel like he can see me. Maybe because I'm living my life better now. But anyway, it's 40 minutes. I didn't mean for it to be that long, but I'm about to get off of here because I am at work after all. But I really wanted to just let you know of the new up and coming series. And I'm going to plan it out today to see what works best. Because I don't know if I really want to do it at work, but if I got to, I will. So anyway, hopefully that was helpful. I hate that this video was this long, but it is what it is. Um, so yeah, hopefully you enjoyed this and it doesn't seem or come off as scattered as I feel it does. But anyway, thank you for listening, Andrea. You are such a blessing to me. Please like this video for me and please share it. Share if you care, share if you dare, especially if you're a Care Bear. And I'm going to end it here. Peace, love, and hair grease and all that jazz. And I'm going to see you on the next one. Peace.